शिवोऽहं 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 शिवोऽहं
शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये। Namaste. Welcome to Kaivalya Yoga Gurukulam for another delightful Satsang. Let us begin the Kriyas with a sense of deep reverence and humility, because we're going to tune into one of the divine elements that keeps us alive, breath. We start with the Omkara Kriya. With every Om, allow a lot of air to escape through the mouth. Empty the lungs as you lean forward. We'll do it 3 times. Please remember to swallow your saliva before you inhale, so it doesn't come in the way as you do this Kriya. Let's sit up tall and straight. And let's begin. Inhale. When you're ready, exhale. Inhale, come up. Gently shift your awareness to the region of your stomach and pull your abdominal muscle slightly in, performing a Lagu Uddiyana, a weak bandha. So you begin to push the prana upwards to the region of the chest. Inhale. Let's go. Inhale, come up. Gently shift your awareness to your throat. Partially close the glottis Begin the Ujjayi breath. Begin to listen to the sound of the breath as you inhale and exhale. With these two in place, the Ujjayi breath and the Uddiyana Bandha in place, let's do the third Om. Inhale. Let's chant the Om. Inhale, come on. Begin to tune into the breath. Receive each inhalation with reverence, mindfulness. Allow Vayu to fill your lungs with life-giving prana and then carry all the toxins out as you exhale. Wonderful. Kaka Shuddhi Kriya. Mouth spouted like a beak of a crow or a hose pipe. You're going to push the breath out as if you're coughing out the breath. Continue that exhalation till you can exhale no more. And then you breathe in and come out. So we help the Vayu to detoxify the lungs. Inhale. Let's go. Inhale, come on. The secret is in complete exhalation. Complete your exhalation till you can exhale no more, then you can come up. All the time, bandha in place. When you're ready, let's begin. One more. We have 4 more to go. Inhale. Let's go. Inhale, come up. Breathe in and out. Ujjayi breath in place. Begin to listen to the sound of the Vayu entering in and leaving out. It entrains the brain, slows down. When you're ready, the next one, inhale. Let's go. Inhale, come up. Do it at your own pace. Use my pace as merely a reference. Some of you may be doing it longer than me. Listen to your body. 2 more to go. Inhale. Let's go. Inhale, come on. Breathe in and out. One last one. Inhale. Let's go. Breathe in and out. Pay attention to the volume of air that comes in, the volume of air that leaves the body. the steadiness in the flow of your breath. Listen to the sound of the breath. That indicates how steady your breath is. Wonderful. Let's get ready for Agnisara. We will do it 3 rounds. You're going to breathe out, hold the breath out, pull your stomach in. This time perform a nice good Uddiyana Bandha, and then flap the stomach in and out. And then breathe in again. Hands on your knees if that works for you. Inhale. Exhale either through the mouth or through the nose. Once you're done exhalation, begin. Inhale. Couple of breaths. After you finish one Kriya, just observe what's happening in the body. Listen. Keep tuning into your body, listening. No expectations. Simply observe. Feel. When you're ready, begin the next one. Exhale. And begin. Sit up tall and straight. Feel the spine lengthening. It's a beautiful experience that shows the prana is beginning to get settled in the chest region. When you're ready, let's do the third one. Inhale and exhale. Breathe in and out. Listen to your breath. Now the Uddiyana Bandha should be much easier to maintain after the Agni Kriya, so just maintain that. Let's do the Markata Kriyas, 5 of them. Let's begin. Inhale. Exhale. 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 Lengthen your spine. Twist. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Come up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Wonderful. Let's continue. Inhale. Exhale. 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 3 more at least. Inhale. Exhale. 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 Inhale, straighten up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, twist to the left. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Wonderful. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Uddiyana Bandha in place. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One last one. Inhale. Exhale. 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 Continue. Inhalation. Exhalation. Begin to focus automatically on the quality of your exhalations. Gently, let's get ready for Pranam Asana. Sit up tall and straight. Use the mudra, Brahma mudra, hands on either side of your navel. Inhale. As you exhale, press the stomach and go down. Breathe in and out. See, with my stomach fully pressed, I'm able to speak. That means my prana is in the chest. You should be able to breathe fully as well. Rest your forehead down or on a block, but rest your head. Don't let it hang like this in midair. As you breathe out, push the stomach in. Feel the inhalations through the back of the lungs. Inhale, come up. Exhale. Wonderful. Excellent. The Pranayama itself is such a powerful exercise. You can stay in that and again go down, again stay 1 more minute. You can do this whole Yogic Kriyas for over an hour, taking time in between each. It's a very meditative, very beautiful practice. Even if you're not into yoga, asanas and all of that, just this Kriyas will take you a long way. All right, let's get ready for Bhastrika. We shall do 10 rounds. We'll do 5 of them today. We'll maintain 5 now. We'll do 10 and then increase it later on. Another 2-3 days more later on, we'll increase it to 15. Let's see how that goes. Make sure Uddiyana Bandha is in place. Otherwise, the efficacy of Bhastrika is lost by 50%. It's not wrong to let your stomach go in and out, but the efficacy is lost. Because the bellows is not the stomach. The bellows are your lungs. The 2 sides that the blacksmith uses, and that's why it's called Bhastrika, is the 2 lungs. That has to go in and out, not your stomach. So keep your stomach inactive. By Agnisara and all these exercises we have done, especially Pranayama, the Agni is nice and active. It's pushed the prana up. So now Bhastrika will be easy. Always remember the sequence and please follow the sequence. Don't straight away jump into Bhastrika. All right. 5 rounds. And in each round, we're going to do 10 Bhastrikas. Hand goes up. With a powerful exhalation, you're going to come down. Don't go for speed. Maintain optimum speed. Use mind merely as a reference. Ready? Sit up tall and straight. Apply the mild Uddiyana. When you're ready, let's begin the first round. Let's go. Breathe in and out. If you miss one or do one extra, it doesn't matter. Like I forgot to count. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be mathematically correct in each round. 10, but it's good to be mindful. Breathe. Observe, listen, tune in. When you feel ready, let's go to the next one. Let's start. Breathe in and out. Wonderful. Use your chest to expand and contract. When you're ready, let's go for the third one. Let's go. If you feel 10 is too much in each round, reduce it to 5, 7 maybe. Or take a break from a round. Two more to go. When you're ready, let's begin this. One more. Uddiyana Bandha nicely in place. one last one. Let's go. Beautiful. The body is nice and warm. The energy is moving up. We shall begin the Surya Bheda Kriya. You're going to use the little finger and the ring finger to close the left nostril. And we're going to breathe in and out through the right. And this hand, you will do the Kamala Kriya. So you're going to breathe and expand your palms. Breathe out, form into the mudra. As you breathe out, you're going to crush the lungs. This represents the lungs. And you're activating the Surya Nadi. Stomach pulled in. Allow the name of Ram, the mantra of Ram, simply to sink in. Just listen to that. Pay attention to the volume of air that is going in. Pay attention to the smoothness in the flow of the breath. Pay attention to the ratio, the rhythm of inhalations and exhalations. Enter the world of breath. There's a lot happening there. Listen, tune into this beautiful vayu that is lulling you into deep meditation, connecting you. The breath is a bridge between the gross and the subtle. It connects you and takes your mind deep within. Enjoy this, even if it's for a few minutes. Let's do the Ram Nama Pranayama.
Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. exhale,
Ram Ram Ram, Ram Ram Ram,
inhale,
Ram Ram Ram,
exhale,
Ram Ram Ram, Ram Ram Ram,
inhale,
Ram Ram Ram,
exhale,
Ram Ram Ram, Ram Ram. साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यम् राम नाम वरानने। श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यम् राम नाम वरानने। श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यम् राम नाम वरानने। श्री राम जय राम, श्री राम जय 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 जय राम। हे राम भगवान, हे राम भगवान, हे करुणा सिंधु राम, हे करुणा सिंधु राम, हे दीनबंधु साई राम, हे दीनबंधु साई राम, दीनबंधु साई राम। हे राम भगवान, हे करुणा सिंधु राम, Sai Ram, He Deenabandhu Sai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai 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 Ram. He Ram Bhagwan, He Karuna Sindhu Ram, He Deenabandhu Sai Ram, Deenabandhu Sai Ram. भक्त प्रेमी ओ करुणा करो, भक्त प्रेमी ओ करुणा करो, दया करो भगवान, मुझे कृपा करो भगवान। हे जानकी जीवन राम, हे जानकी जीवन राम, हे पतिपुरीश्वर राम, हे पतिपुरीश्वर राम, हे दीनबंधु साई राम, दीनबंधु साई राम, हे दीनबंधु साई राम, दीनबंधु साई राम। हे राम भगवान, हे करुणा सिंधु राम, हे दीनबंधु साई राम, दीनबंधु साई राम। भक्त प्रेमी ओ करुणा करो, भक्त प्रेमी ओ करुणा करो, दया करो रघुराम, मुझे कृपा करो भगवान। हे जानकी जीवन राम, हे जानकी जीवन राम, हे पतिपुरीश्वर राम, हे पतिपुरीश्वर राम, हे दीनबंधु साई राम, हे दीनबंधु साई राम, दीनबंधु साई राम। श्री राम जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, जय राम, जय राम।
Namaste. For those of you who have just joined the Satsang, welcome to Kaivalya Yoga Gurukulam. Every day is a great privilege and a great honor to be able to continue hosting this yagna, this Satsang, and it is only with divine grace that we are able to continue. So with that heart filled with gratitude, let us proceed in this rather difficult chapter of Hanuman's life, but which gives us a window into our own dark hours, and we learn lesson from Hanuman. Tonight is that part where things begin to turn in his direction, in his favor, finally. But we are still on the 13th chapter of the Sundarakanda, and we are going to continue learning about the concept of failure. So we were here yesterday. What happens when we perceive that we have failed? In other words, not in one task here or there, but when we perceive ourselves as failure. See, the whole concept of failure is when I stop trying, then I truly fail. As long as I am trying, I'm not a failure. I'm not failed yet. And I can keep trying forever. Right? That's the beauty. The willpower, the willingness to try again and again and again, not accepting failure in spite of all your outcomes coming as not as you expected. In spite of that, continuing to trying new methods, trying new ways, exploring other ways to reach the same outcome, definitely always ends in anything other than failure. So we saw yesterday how confusion and doubts sets in. Hanuman starts thinking, is Sita died? Did she fall off? Is she even alive? I'm not sure. And then your thoughts go into this pattern of weird thoughts just go on. Now you and I have been in this position, right? We get angry with somebody because of something they must have said to us somewhere. Let's say I was in a party yesterday or in a social gathering and somebody passed a comment about me and I come home first saying, I don't care. But then when I'm alone, that comes back to me and how dare she say that or he say that. And then you start building up your own imagination, right? The thought just spirals out of control in your head. You think you're shouting at him and he's gone and talked to somebody else and this and that. But all of that is happening in your head. That's what happened to Hanuman. How can I tell Rama? If I tell Rama, Rama dies. If Rama dies, Lakshmana dies. If Lakshmana dies, their brothers in Ayodhya will die. Their mothers will die. And my master Sugriva will die. And the Vanaras will die. And this just seems to be out of control. There is a verse where Valmiki says he's just holding his head and trying to get out of this grief. That is what Hanuman is at that moment of the deepest despair. There at that moment, in spite of all those fantastic achievements that he had done. So going over the sea, controlling the senses and all of that, there is still a great lesson to be learned in this. So all of that is just one phase, right? It's like, when I was trekking in the Himalayas, my guide would say, "Bas itna hi dur hai, bas iske paas." He will say, oh, just the goal that you want to reach or the temple you're searching for, it's just behind this hill. Yeah, abhi aa jayega. Now it will come. And then you say, oh, thank God, just one more hill. And you struggle and you go up that hill. And then, lo and behold, there's another one. You go down and there's another one. And then you ask him, aur kitne dur? Bas aa hi gaya, bhai sahab, aa hi gaya. And he'll say, yeah, it's just round the corner. And then it goes on and on. It seems to go on forever, right? But it never does. As long as you keep going. If you give up, that's when you have, what do you do then? Then you return back to where you started. And that's worse. So you don't give up, you just keep going. So not hitting a head against a brick wall, but saying, all right, you know what, let me try another way to do this. There must be something else. Or I will tweak the goal a little bit so that at least I achieve something. Like that kind of a thing. So you break it down into steps and achieve one single step at a time. Whatever it is, but don't give up the effort and blame yourself and label yourself saying, I'm a failure, I didn't succeed in this path. That is the worst case scenario. These days with tremendous pressure on examinations, especially in India and some parts of Asia, I know, perhaps it's here in the US as well, I'm not sure, we don't have kids, so we have not gone through that phase. But that's so much pressure that at the 10th grade or the 12th grade you don't do well, somehow the kid feels he's a failure. He's never going to make it in life. And that's the worst kind of situation you can be in. I can relate to that because I was in that situation when I did my 12th and I got just C- or something like that in grade terms. Those days there were no grades, there was only percentage. So I got some 46 or 47 or 48%. There was no way I could get into Baba's college because the admission was very high rated. Even though it was very first batch, that was the first batch. And I had this exact thing that I'm good for nothing. I'm done in life. I don't know what to do. If I can't get into Baba's college, where else can I go? So that was like a doomsday time for me. And that's when he picked me up and he said, go join the college, right? And so that's a whole different story. And then he believed in my talents. He believed in what I can do. And that in turn brought my self-confidence back up. So thoughts and imaginations can spiral out of control. Then what happens to Hanuman is, as you will see now in this, a false sense of resignation sets in. He says, you know what, I can't go back. I'm not going to be able to show my face. I can't be a failure and go back, because if I go a failure, it's not about me and my reputation. He was not worried about that as much as seeing my failure in my inability to find Sita. What will happen if others, if they die or they are in shock, all of that. I don't want to be there. I don't want to be the cause. So in that confused state, he says, I will be here. I will be an ascetic. I will light a fire and I'll do my self-control. I'll eat berries and all, and I'll live in the seashore of Lanka. I'll just be there. That's okay for me. I don't want to go back. Then he even gets the wildest thought. This is a thought which none of us should even entertain, even for a moment. None of us deserve this, right? The concept or the idea of ending our own life. We don't. Life is an adventure. Just because some of our expectations are not met, you say, I'm contemplating on suicide. You'll be like, how that is completely wrong thinking. I don't even know how to address it. I'm not a counselor or trained to do that kind of counseling. But it just breaks my heart to read if somebody says, I'm contemplating on suicide, or so-and-so tried to commit suicide. It just breaks my heart completely. He said, how can somebody be in that spot, in that place in life? It is complete delusion that they bring upon themselves. This idea and the perception of utter failure, all because some or all of the expectations were not met. That's all it is. Then they decide to end. But that ending one's life is not the end of the journey. You're not going to get happiness or get out of this depression or out of this state. It's not. It might land you, and it will, I believe so. It will land you in a further downward spiral, because there are many other dimensions of existence that you and I are not aware of in this conscious state. It doesn't mean they don't exist, they do. And so before and after death, we traverse these dimensions. And if we end our life prematurely, we end our learning prematurely in this life, whatever it is that we have to learn, then our traversing and journey in the other dimensions will be even more horrible. And therefore, that is the worst kind of thought. But Hanuman entertains that because he's confused completely. Mati Bhrashta is completely deluded, the mind. And so he says, you know what, I will just drown myself in the sea. Or I light a fire and walk into the fire and let the birds and the sea creatures eat my body. And it's okay, I'll die like this. Maybe some sages have said it's a good way to die. Maybe I will just do that. And this kind of thing, a fleeting few thoughts like this pass by. And that's why Valmiki says he holds his head and wants to get out of this, not knowing how to get out. It seems unending. Unending. What? The grief that he is in at that moment. But it doesn't last forever, right? And therefore, the next thing we need to ask is, and before I go to that, this is the exact despondency of Arjuna as well. Okay? Let me hold on to that, because this is an important thing. You see, when time comes for action, there is always that hesitancy to draw back. Some delusion happens, right? It's sometimes in these comedy movies, I guess, you get to see the bridegroom just before the wedding. He is in his jitters, and either the bride runs away or the bridegroom runs away, or something like that happens, because they say, no, I can't do this. This is too much for me, and they run away. So that's on the lighter side. I hope it doesn't happen in real life. But then that's on the lighter side. It's the same thing in any part of our lives. At that moment, something comes, and then in your own unconscious mind, you kind of put a hurdle or an obstacle in front, and that refuses to manifest sometimes. We need to be watchful of that. because we are creators of all circumstances in our life. We are architects of our destiny. We are co-creating our life, our manifestations with the divine. There is no doubt about it. You and I are not victims of fate, and that fate has not come from somewhere else. That design that we have come into this world, our strengths and weaknesses which we came into this world with as designed in our horoscope, is not given to us by God. It is a blueprint of our own acts, our own instincts that we have performed earlier, in earlier births. And we carry that into this life. Doesn't mean we stick to that. That is just a blueprint with which you came into this life. Now you have the blueprint. You work on your weaknesses, you rely on your strengths, and you form a whole new you. So you and I can be architects, our architects. We are the architects. Along with the divine energy within us, we co-create our lives the way we want to. That is what Ravana did. He also drew energy from Shiva. Rama also did Shivalinga worships and drew energy from Shiva. Here Shiva represents the universal consciousness. So they all drew that same energy. One was Ravana, one was Rama. So one has to understand that you and I can create whatever we want with our lives if we begin to draw that energy within us. Arjuna was also at this point, just before the war. This great warrior decided, no, I can't fight. These are my uncles. I don't want. I'll be humble. I'll live in a hermit. I'll live as a hermit. I'll live in a small village. I don't want all this kingdom. I'm not going to fight this war. And Krishna is just quiet when Arjuna is talking. The whole first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna doesn't say anything. Up until the 11th verse of the second chapter, Krishna is quiet. Why? Because Arjuna is full of, oh, I am this, I am that, I am this, I am that. Keep quiet. And then in that, there is a different lesson. There, Arjuna has got Krishna with him, so he surrenders to Krishna. He says, I am done. I can't think. You guide me. Let your words guide me. And then Krishna says, all right, now you are asking, I will tell you. Because you seem to have already made up your mind. That's why I didn't speak. And so now he speaks. So that's a different matter. Here, Hanuman doesn't have anybody with him at that moment, right? He's alone. What does he do at that point? So let's explore that. How did Hanuman get out of this despondent situation? I think there was only one. It seems simple, but it's very powerful. And that is, he decided to continue his search. He said, okay, I won't go back. He didn't refute all that. He didn't get into that other guilt complex of how can I think like this? Oh God, forgive me and all of that. He knew that was not the right way. And he said, all right, you know what? I am going to continue searching for Sita. I don't know that. This is all my imagination, and therefore I will continue to search. I will start all over again and continue to search for Sita. So this is your ultimate test of your willpower, the ultimate test of your willingness to live, your ultimate test of you wanting to go and carry on this adventure that we call life. Whether it is in the spiritual path, because we always consider it as a matter of choice, we tend to give it up at the lightest hurdle that comes. We say, oh no, I don't have time for meditation. Oh no, I had a social gathering yesterday, and so I got up late, I missed it. So we always use that as an excuse and use that as something secondary. But if that becomes your primary goal, self-realization, God realization, then you are tested whether you can carry that path. It is that same principle applied in any field in life. If you want to do something, you will be tested. But that's the beauty of it. When you pass the test, you come out, you emerge much more stronger, much more talented, much more wiser, much more everything than you were ever before, much more richer, and all of that. Right? You look at the life of every person who has been extremely successful, who has come up the ladder, and you will see, with very, very, very minor exceptions here and there, all of them struggled their way if they have been sincere in their struggle. I'm not talking of just rich and famous people. I'm not talking of political leaders and all of that, because their paths will be different. But there are leaders who made a difference in the society, and you will see their lives, they all came up the hard way, because at every moment their will, their grit, their vision was tested. And the more they came out of it, the more it was clearer. Bhagwan Baba would often say, it is like melting a gold in the fire. Without melting gold in the fire, jewelry is never obtained. So your beautiful jewelry that you wear, a ring or a bracelet or a chain, remember that gold has gone through the fire. It's the same thing with diamond. It comes out of a charcoal, but there's a process. There's a process of transformation. Transformation from a caterpillar to a butterfly is not easy. And that is where this test comes. To me, this is what? There is one verse. Hanuman at the end of all of this says, all right, no matter what, I will continue my search for Sita. I will do it. And then what happens? As soon as he says that, because that was a test. It was, because until then what? I want to become an ascetic, I want to give up, all of that continued, right? But at that moment he says, I'm going to now, let me continue. All right, all these thoughts are there, these alternatives are always there, all right, let's keep that. But right now, let me continue search. The moment at that worst situation he decides to re-kick, put his car back into gear, that moment he does that, he looks around, he sees Ashoka Vana, Ashoka Grove. He notices a grove, a forest of trees, a garden, if you will, called Ashoka. We'll come to that meaning tomorrow because there's a whole chapter dedicated to that. That's it. Now that's it. The moment he notices Ashoka Grove, the sun is rising in the horizon. The darkest part of the night is getting over. He notices the Ashoka Grove. And what does he do? He says, I haven't seen this before. What is this? Okay? There is a reason why he didn't see it earlier, but he sees it now. We'll explore that tomorrow. But what is very important here to me in this is when he notices this new garden or grove of trees, when he notices that, what does he do? He says, I haven't gone there. I should go there now to search for Sita. But now it's like a renewed Hanuman, right? He's gone through the brinks, I don't know if that's a word, a brink of despair. Is that the right term? Let's say, all right, let's use some term like that. You know what I mean. He's gone to the rock bottom and a new Hanuman. Depths of despair. All right. Thank you. And he goes down to the depths of despair and he comes up now, says, I will continue my search, which means there is a new Hanuman, a renewed Hanuman, right? You know, when your wound heals and your skin forms, that skin is much stronger than the earlier one, correct? It's a renewed skin. And so it's like that. Hanuman comes up renewed. And he says, I'm going to go to Ashoka. But now this renewed Hanuman, how does he start this new search? What does he do? This is the most fascinating thing. This time he says, I'm going to offer salutations to all the elements and forces in the universe before I begin my search. Compare this with the Hanuman who jumped over the sea. Right in the beginning, what did he say? I can travel to the sun and I can come back. I can do this, I can do that. I am strong. He needed that confidence at that point. So at that moment, at that point, in that context, he was correct. That was not ego, that was confidence that was speaking. When all the Vanaras were wailing and crying, he stood up and said, yes, I can do it. His newfound spirituality gave him that confidence when Jambavan told him, right? We studied this a few weeks ago. Jambavan told him that you are this. And once he was reminded of his divinity, confidence filled him up. And he said, I can do this, I can do that, and all of that. And he did. But then comes a point when you have to find your divinity. Mother Sita is not one to reveal herself so easily. So at that moment, humility is the greatest of all virtues. And in that humility, he realizes, I'm going to salute all the elements of this universe. And I'm going to draw upon their help to achieve my task. This is so important. But not to create as if you don't understand this, oh, poor me, what can I do alone, and therefore I need all of. See, when you and I pray, we pray and we get up from prayer. Let me put it this way, do we get up from our prayers feeling much more strong and much more strengthened, knowing that I have touched God's feet? I have been in his mansion. I have been in that dimension, one with my divine Guru, my God. And therefore I come back confident, knowing that there is a solution to this issue in my life. In the meantime, I will carry on my effort. Do we come out of that like that? Or do we come out of prayer feeling, I don't know, I'm still confused. Anyway, let me carry on. Do we come like that? Then that's not a prayer where we entered into a zone of self-pity. We created more of self-pity, and then we came out of that feeling the same. We didn't feel empowered. Hanuman's prayer was not like that. In this yagna, we don't have time to go into those verses, but then as he says, he calls upon, look at these salutations. Let me put them all out there so you might read it, even though I might go back and forth. He says salutations to Rama. First his guru, who sent him, who's the one who inspired me? Let me offer my salutations to Rama, his brother Lakshmana, and to this mother Sita. That's my life force. My entire energy is sustained by them. I'm here to serve them, and therefore my salutations to them. And then he goes to the cosmic aspects. He says, Brahma, the creator of this creative principle of this universe, I know that you will make this is how he says, may this power make my search a success. He's not praying like a helpless victim because he's come out of that deep despair. He's saying, may that energy could help me in my search. So he's adding that into, that is why we say co-creator with the divine. You come work with me, I'll work with you, and together let us fashion a life, right? Salutations to Rudra. He says salutations to Shiva. You might read it just in one verse and say, oh, that's all he did. But those are very mindful. At that point, and a million years ago, they lived in a very mindful lifestyle in that Vedic civilization. It's like a fantasy world now, right? But that mindful, every word, every act was so mindful that one salutation was more than enough. But in that one salutation, he would completely tune to that energy. That is what rituals are. Basically, we don't do that. We pay somebody else to do that rituals, right? But nevertheless. So Brahma, Rudra, Shiva, Indra, Yama, Vayu, the directions, the sun, the moon, the maruts, all kinds of wind, Ashwini twins, all the healing energies, the Adityas, the 12 suns, all of that. The 12 zodiac signs as the sun goes, all the 12 suns, all the 12 varieties of suns that we see in a year, all of that, all kinds of vasus. Every dimension, he bows to everyone and say, may all you make my karyama siddhi. Siddhi means attain, let me attain the purpose of my seva, my effort, my trip here, let me attain this. And that gives him even more confidence. But now this confidence is not out of, I can do this, I can do that, because I am divine. But I am divine because I am part of something big. This is the realization. This is why, and all this happened because of that one little step in the right direction. I will continue my search for Sita. He notices Ashoka. But before going into the Ashoka grove, he says, make all of this. Let all these elements, this universe, back me, empower me. And now his consciousness is now expanded to include the universe, the creative principle, the cosmic intelligence. He embraces that as part of him. And then he notices Ashoka grove. And then he notices how demons are guarding Ashoka grove. He says, why is this grove being so well guarded? What is in this grove? Let me go in and see what is in that beautiful grove. So if you and I want to get out of a situation where we are depressed, confused, we are going through the worst of separations and death in the family of loved ones, and our faith is being tested and we don't know what to do. At that time, don't give up. Don't give up. Sit back and say, I need guidance and I know God will guide me. Let your prayers be that which will empower you. Don't sit in front of the altar and say, Ayo, why are you testing me? Where will I go? What will I do? How can I live alone? What can I do? The more you say this, God will stay back and say, Tathastu, stay alone, survive, struggle. Whatever you're saying, you're going to do it. Why? Because you are saying it. Sitting in God's presence, if you can't start engaging in self-pity, then you're not going to come out of that presence more empowered. Rather, offer all of that. I am confused at this point. If you are, offer that confusion to the divine. Say, you take this mind, take this confusion away from me. Take this and make my mind clear. And feel that connection. Feel that offering. Feel that confusion going out of you. Just like you, in Yogic Kriyas, we allow the toxins to go out with the breath. Feel, offer it to the divine. And then say, I'm empty. I may not have clear idea at this point, but at least I am free from all this things that are binding me down. And therefore, let me take steps with this clear mind. Then you will notice an Ashoka grove. There is no doubt about it. And that time, that faintest light, turn once again and call upon all the universal principles to guide you. And let that empower you. And with that empowered thinking, expanded consciousness, inclusive consciousness, not breaking down. We are experts in breaking down. Institutions break down. Organizations break down. Because our mind is thinking only in terms of, this is me, this is you, this is her, this is she. Westerners, Easterners, India, US, America, we have broken down. So that's the only way to think is like that. But in divinity, it doesn't work like that. In spiritual life, we say, we are earth, we are human beings, we are one. We believe in the same values. Why are you and I fighting when the same values? Why when we have one master, one God, why are we then creating these so many divisions among ourselves? Embrace that oneness. Expansion comes. That is what Hanuman did. When Hanuman got that, then true empowerment comes. Don't wait for somebody else to do this. You and I have the golden opportunity, so expand your consciousness. In your consciousness, don't allow divisions. Inclusion. And let that inclusion enrich you, empower you, and guide you. So with these beautiful words, as Ashoka groves now going to be blessed by the presence of Hanuman, let us today invoke him and ask for that strength. Hanuman will guide us. Know that when you think of him, that's why the mind, when you think of something, the mind becomes that. So when we are chanting Hanuman, when we think of Hanuman, the mind becomes that. Allow the mind to become empowered. Allow the mind to feel the energy of Hanuman. Humility, power, vitality, strength. The ability to carry on in spite of the gravest doubts and despair. He was all alone in a kingdom filled with demons, with only faith to guide him. That Mother Sita is there somewhere. Right? And so he needs to be the perfect role model in our own spiritual path. And therefore, with that heart filled with gratitude, let us invoke this divine, powerful energy to fill our consciousness, to fill our minds and our spirits with that same enthusiasm, that positive outlook, and that ability to call upon the divine elements in the universe so that we live our life empowered, enriched, enlightened. Let's invoke Hanuman. Om Bhuh Purusham Shri Bajranga Rupaya Shri Samba Sadashivam Avahayami. Om Bhuvah Purusham Shri Maruti Rupaya Shri Samba Sadashivam Avahayami. Om Suvah Purusham Shri Chiranjeevi Rupaya
श्रीसाम्ब सदाशिवम् आवाहयामि। ॐ भूर्भुवः सुवः पुरुषं श्रीरामदूत हनुमान रूपाय श्रीसाम्ब सदाशिवम् आवाहयामि। सोऽहं नैव गमिष्यामि किष्किन्धां नगरीमितः न च शक्ष्याम्यहं द्रष्टुं सुग्रीवं मैथिलीं विना मय्यगच्छति चेहस्थे धर्मात्मानौ महारथौ आशयातौ धरिष्येते वानराश्च मनस्विनः हस्ताधानो मुखाधानो नियतो वृक्षमूलिकः वानप्रस्थो भविष्यामि यदृष्ट्वा जनकात्मजाम् सागरानूपजे देशे बहुमूलफलोदके चिन्तां कृत्वा प्रवेक्ष्यामि समिद्धमरणीसुतम् उपविष्टस्य वा सम्यग् लिङ्गिनीं साधयिष्यतः शरीरं भक्षयिष्यन्ति वायसाश्वापदानि च इदं महर्षिभिर्दृष्टम् निर्याणमिति मे मतिः सम्यग्गापप्रवेक्ष्यामि न चेत् पश्यामि जानकीं सुजातमूला सुभगा कीर्तिमाला यशस्विनी प्रभग्ना चिररात्रियं मम सीताम् अपश्यतः तापसो वा भविष्यामि नियतो वृक्षमूलिकः नेतप्रतिगमिष्यामि तामदृष्ट्वा सिते क्षणाम् यदितः प्रतिगच्छामि सीतामनधिगम्यताम् अङ्गदः सहतैः सर्वैर्वानरैर्न भविष्यति विनाशे बहवो दाशो जीवन् भद्राणि पश्यति तस्मात् प्राणान् धरिष्यामि ध्रुवो जीवितसङ्गमः एवं बहुविधं दुःखं मनसा धारयन्मुहुः नाध्यगच्छत्तदा पारं शोकस्य कपिकुञ्जरः रावणं वा वधिष्यामि दशग्रीवं महाबलम् काममस्तु हृता सीता प्रत्याचीर्णं भविष्यति अथ वैनं समुत्क्षिप्य उपर्युपरि सागरम् रामायोपहरिष्यामि पशुं पशुपतेरिव इति चिन्तां समापन्न सीताम् अनिधिगम्यताम् ध्यानशोकपरीतात्मा चिन्तयामास वानरः यावत् सीतां हि पश्यामि रामपत्नीं यशस्विनीम् तावदेतां पुरीं लङ्कां विचिनोमि पुनः पुनः सम्पाति वचनाच्छापि रामं यद्ध्यानयाम्यहम् अपश्यन् राघवो भार्यां निर्दहेत् सर्ववानरान् इहैव नियताहारो वत्स्यामि नियतेन्द्रियः न मत्कृते विनश्येयु सर्वे ते नरवानराः अशोकवनिकाच्चेयं दृश्यते या महाद्रुमा इमाम् अधिगमिष्यामि न हीयं विचिता मया वसून् रुद्रांस्तथादित्यान् अश्विनौ मारुतोऽपि च नमस्कृत्वा गमिष्यामि रक्षसां शोकवर्धनः जित्वा तु राक्षसान् सर्वान् इक्ष्वाकुकुलनन्दिनीम् सम्प्रदास्यामि रामाय यथा सिद्धिं तपस्विने समुहूर्तम् इव ध्यात्वा चिन्तावग्रथितेन्द्रियः उदतिष्ठन् महातेजा हनुमान् मारुतात्मजः नमोऽस्तु रामाय स लक्ष्मणाय दैव च तस्यै जनकात्मजायै नमोऽस्तु रुद्रेन्द्रयमालिनेभ्यो नमोऽस्तु चन्द्रार्कमरुद्गणेभ्यः सतेभ्यस्तु नमस्कृत्य सुग्रीवाय च मारुतिः दिशः सर्वाः समालोक्य ह्यशोकवनिकां प्रति स गत्वा मनसा पूर्वम् अशोकवनिकां शुभाम् उत्तरं चिन्तयामास वानरो मारुतात्मजः ध्रुवं तु रक्षो बहुला भविष्यति वनाकुला अशोकवनिका पुण्या सर्वसंस्कारसंस्कृता रक्षिणश्छात्रविहिता नूनं रक्षन्ति पादपान् भगवानपि सर्वात्मा न तिक्षोभं प्रवाथि वै संक्षिप्तोऽयं मयात्मा च रामार्थे रावणस्य च सिद्धिं मे संविधास्यन्ति देवासर्षिगणास्विह ब्रह्मा स्वयंभुर्भगवान् देवाश्चैव दिशन्तु मे सिद्धिम् अग्निश्च वायुश्च पुरुहूतश्च वज्रभृत् वरुणः पाशहस्तश्च सोमादित्यो तथैव च अश्विनौ च महात्मानौ मरुतः शर्व एव च सिद्धिं सर्वाणि भूतानि भूतानां चैव यः प्रभुः दास्यन्ति मम ये चान्ये यदृष्टापथि गोचराः तदुन्नसं पाण्डुरदन्तमव्रणम् शुचिस्मितं पद्मपलाशलोचनम् द्रक्ष्येतदार्यावदनं कदान्वहम् प्रसन्नताराधिपतुल्यदर्शनम् त्रेण पापेन नृशंसकर्मणा सुधारुणालङ्कृतवेषधारिणा बलाभिभूता ह्यबला तपस्विनी कथं नु मे दृष्टिपतेद्य सा भवेत्। इत्यार्षे श्रीमद् रामायणे वाल्मीकीय आदिकाव्ये सुन्दरकाण्डे 13 सर्गः।
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी बरनो रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फल चारि। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहे हरहु कलेश विकार। ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन वरण विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 राम। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हर्षि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई। सहस बदन तुमरो जस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि को विद कहि सके कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाए राजपद दीन्हा। राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री ईश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्र योजन पर भानु, लियो ताहि मधुर फल जानू। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माही, जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाहि। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिन पैसारे। सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज संहारो आपे, तीनों लोक हांकते कापे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। नासै रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो शत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूटहि बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होए सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय महाडेरा। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम। पवन तनय संकट हरण, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप। राम 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 राम, श्री राम 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 राम, श्री
May all the beings in all the worlds be happy.
जय बोलो पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, सतगुरु साईनाथ महाराज की जय। नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव। शांति शांति शांति।